Alright, it's the end of October. Let's talk about what did I read this month, where am I with my reading goals, what shows am I enjoying, what happened on the channel this month. Stay tuned, this is the October wrap-up. Alright, let's talk about how my month of October went here on the channel. So of course, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, tell me what you read. What did you do this month in terms of your reading goals? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's get into it. And of course, join my Discord, follow me on Bookstagram, all that's linked below as well. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's talk about how my month went. So as usual, we start these wrap-up videos with what is my annual reading goal. I set a target of 75 books. I'm currently sitting at 61 of 75 as of the day of filming this video. So hopefully, with any luck, we'll get to 75 by the end of the year. But that leaves me about 14 books over the next 2 months, which I suppose is achievable if I really focus on it, but we'll see what happens. My work schedule actually is changing a bit in the coming months. I'm going back to a 5x8 schedule, so I'll have one less day a week to be able to really focus on meeting those reading goals and enjoying my books. But you know, that's okay. So we'll just kind of have to see how November and December play out in terms of reading for those months. Still, I think I've read a decent amount of books this month. So let's talk about a little bit about what did I read this month. So the first book that I actually finished this month in the month of October, I actually started this one in September, but I finished it in the month of October, and that is Dust of Dreams by Steven Erikson. This is the second to last book in the main set of Malazan World books, and I finally got through the second to last book in this series, and I'm looking forward to finishing this series as a whole. This is a fantastic series, but it's kind of one that's almost a love-hate, and I've said this so many times, and you're probably saying, Drew, why are you putting yourself through this if it's like that? But I don't know, there's something about Malazan that makes me want to just keep going. As challenging of a read as this feels to me, I want to keep going and I want to finish it. So I finished up Dust of Dreams, and you can bet I'm going to finish up The Crippled God, and then I'll feel like I've accomplished something massive. This is a massive series after all. It'll be like an accomplishment, something to celebrate. Woo! Celebrate good time. Okay, maybe not quite yet. But we will get there. It'll be worth celebrating. One of the other books that I also read this month is, of course, a monthly Discworld book. So this month I had read Night Watch by Terry Pratchett. If you haven't checked out the little short I did on this, go check it out. I'm trying something new with that, doing these kind of short 1-minute YouTube short type of reviews for some of the books that I'm maybe not dedicating a full video review on. So this was the first of those shorts, so definitely check that out on the channel. You should just be able to find it in the shorts, but Terry Pratchett's Night Watch. This was a fun one, going back in time and trying to correct the timeline and make everything okay again. Crazy Night Watch, crazy Terry Pratchett, crazy Discworld. Everything about Discworld is awesome. I cannot recommend it enough. This is no exception to that rule. Night Watch, absolutely awesome. Really enjoyed that one. One of the other books I read was my nonfiction read of the month, which I've been dedicating at least one nonfiction read per month for this year, and I'm so happy that I've been able to do that, was The God Equation by Mikio Kaku. So this was another great read. Check out my review of this book. That will be linked in the description down below, and I'll try to remember to put that in the cards as well. But check out The God Equation by Mikio Kaku. This is about the search for a theory of everything. Where is God in this infinite universe? What is a theory that can explain everything? Mikio Kaku takes us on the history of this search for this theory of everything, which is still proving to be very elusive in the world of science. But we seem to be getting closer, or at least the world of science thinks we're getting closer. But again, I guess they've always kind of thought that, so who knows. God Equation by Mikio Kaku. One of the other books I read this month was the first ever channel buddy read in the history of the channel, which I thought was really fun. And I do want to thank CD for mentioning this, because we both ended up getting the same book, and CD said, hey, let's do a buddy we should do a buddy read. So we did, and that's what we did. We did a buddy read for Gideon the Ninth here on the channel. Now this one ended up being about a 3.5 stars for me, so I liked it, but I wouldn't say that I absolutely loved it, but I did like it. So I will definitely be putting out my review of this in early November, so make sure that you stay tuned for my review of Gideon the Ninth, because of course this was a buddy read, so of course I have to put out a review for it. It'll probably have some spoilers in it, so be warned of that, but definitely make sure that you stay tuned. Hit that little bell notification so you know when I put my video out on Gideon the Ninth for this. It was a fantastic October read. I mean, necromancers, skeletons, gothic palaces in space. You know, this was a fun October read for sure, and it definitely had those spooky season vibes to it. So I actually think this was the perfect opportunity and perfect selection for the first buddy read in October and the first buddy read on the channel. I thought that was a really good selection for that, at the very least. One of the other books I finally finished this month, and I have to say finally, mainly because it's actually been a long time coming for me to complete reading this series. I started reading the series, I don't even remember when, but I went back and I reread from the very beginning until we got through to the very final book, Brent Weeks' Lightbringer, The Burning White. So this is the final book in the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. And my review on this whole series will be coming out in the near future. So again, make sure you stay tuned on the channel to catch my review of this entire series. But this was just a fantastic series, and listening on the graphic audio as I read along with it was just crazy awesome. The casting, the characters was just so well done, and I have to say, I think I enjoyed graphic audio better than traditional audiobooks. So much better, but this was a really good series. Light Magic, awesome. Check it out. Stay tuned for my review on the Lightbringer series. So that brings us to one other book, which I think I technically finished in September, but at the time of my September wrap-up video that I was filming, I hadn't quite finished it yet, but I had planned on finishing it, so I just wanted to make sure that I covered that, and that is The Return of the King from Lord of the Rings. I'd been reading this book to my daughter, so we finished reading that, and then we watched the movies, and I think she would probably want to tell you all about it, so here she is. Alright, so Maya, we had a lot of fun reading The Lord of the Rings, and we just finished up The Return of the King. And then we also got to watch the movies together, which was so much fun. So glad you wanted me to read this story to you because it's one of my favorite stories of all time. What did you think of the books?
They were awesome. They were amazing.
What was your favorite part of the books?
I bet my favorite part of the books was Frodo and Sam taking care of Gollum because he's cute and he's a friendly guy, even though he can be attacker sometimes.
You think Gollum's friend? Are you sure it's not Smeagol you think is the friendly one?
Oh yeah, Smeagol.
You said he's cute.
Yeah, because he is. I want to pet Smeagol.
You want to pet Smeagol? Oh boy. I wonder if Smeagol would let you pet him.
I want a pet Smeagol.
Oh, you want a pet Smeagol. I'm so glad you enjoyed the books. And what about the movies? What did you think about the movies?
They were even better because I got to see everything that happened in the books.
Did you have a favorite scene in the movies?
Yeah, when they were taking care of Gollum.
And they're taking care of him? Like leading him along on the leash? Well, he didn't like the leash, did he?
No, my favorite part was, I'm trying to think, when the eagle saved them from the mountain.
That was pretty awesome, wasn't it? Did you have a favorite character other than Smeagol? Who was your favorite character from the book and favorite character from the movie?
Which you talking, this one or the Hobbit?
This one, The Lord of the Rings. What was your favorite character from
Frodo!
Frodo.
And Gandalf!
Okay, you don't need to
And all the
yell.
other hobbits! And Merry and Pippin, they were troublemakers.
Did you have a favorite character from the movies, or is it also Frodo and Merry and Pippin in the Hobbits?
Yes. And wait.
Okay.
Not only the hobbits. Who is it? The old wizard.
You tell me. Who's the old wizard?
Gandalf.
Is Gandalf pretty cool?
Yeah.
Also, was there a scariest moment in the movies?
Shelob.
How about the books? Was there a scary moment in the books?
Shelob.
Shelob. Yes, Shelob's pretty creepy. I mean, giant spider. Well, I'm so glad we got to read the books together. I'm so glad we got to watch the movies together. It was a lot of fun. And, maybe we could read some books and watch some movies again later with a different series at some point.
Yay!
Well, thank you, Maya, for joining me on this wrap-up video to tell me and my viewers all about how you enjoyed the Lord of the Rings books and movies. Maybe you could come on another video again in the future.
Okay.
Alright, say bye.
Bye. No, wait, no! Go.
Alright, so there you have it. There is my Maya. She is loving that. And, you know, after we finished reading The Lord of the Rings, I asked her, what should we read to you next? Because you seem to be really enjoying having these stories read to her. Should we read Harry Potter, maybe? I suggested no, she wasn't interested in Harry Potter. You know what she wanted me to read to her? Grimm's Fairy Tales. Yep, this is not the Disney version of the fairy tales we're used to, people. And we started picking up and reading Grimm's Fairy Tales. She's loving it. And this stuff, I mean, this is where the term Grimm came from. Grimm's Fairy Tales are disturbing. They are messed up. But I have to admit, I'm enjoying reading the Grimm's Fairy Tales for the first time. And my daughter, and it's not just my younger daughter, but also my other daughter, Kaylin, also has become interested in hearing some of these stories as well. And the Grimm's Fairy Tales, we started reading that this month. I have no idea how long it's going to take us to get through this, but I tell you, the Grimm's Fairy Tales, they are grim. They are messed up. So I kind of laugh that my 10-year-old daughter really wants to hear these stories, but you know what? I'm having fun reading them to her nonetheless. So we started reading Grimm's Fairy Tales, and I love this edition of the collection of Grimm's Fairy Tales. There's over 200 in here, so it's definitely going to take a while to get through. I have no idea how long until we finish that. So that brings us to what else I'm currently reading as we wrap up the month of October. So one of the books that I am currently reading, this is a reread. It's also the Viewer's Choice book review for this month. So hopefully I could finish this in time to get it out by mid-November, because I have a goal to post the Viewer's Choice book review by the 15th of each month. But anyway, I'm reading Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. This is one from the Cosmere, so I'm also going back and rereading this on the graphic audio. You'll have to wait until I put my review out to find out how I like the graphic audio for Elantris, but this is the one that is going out this month as the Viewer's Choice pick. And I love everything Cosmere. It's been a really long time since I've read this book, and I'm really looking forward to getting through this for the second time. I've been anticipating and looking forward to reading Elantris again. I've read almost every Cosmere book. Well, maybe not almost every Cosmere book quite yet. There's a few that are still coming out, but does that really count? Because they're not actually released yet. Anyway, Stormlight Archive and Mistborn are the two Cosmere series I've reread, so this is my first time rereading Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. So definitely be sure to stay tuned for that review. And finally, what we are reading on this month as we wrap everything up is The Crippled God, the final book in Malazan, this hefty, long, thick, challenging series. And you can bet I am going to celebrate after I finish getting through Malazan, Book of the Fallen. So I am currently on The Crippled God by Stephen Erickson. This will probably take me right into sometime in November, and we'll kind of see how far we get. This is primarily why I haven't gotten through every book I've wanted to read in the month, is because these books are big, they're thick, they're easily 1,1300 page tomes, but they are good reads and bad reads at the same time. I don't know what it is with the series. It's like, I want to finish it, but I keep saying that. I'm really torturing myself, and I've got to stop. Seriously, I've got to stop. But it's like a bad car wreck. You know, you don't really want to look, but you can't help yourself. I have to finish it, dang it. I have to finish it. I'm a completionist. I got to finish it. I swear I'll do it. Anyway, there you go. Those are the books that I have read this month and I'm currently reading as we go into November. I'm really looking forward to getting through that. So some other things that we absolutely enjoyed this month, which have been a lot of fun, and which I was very, very excited to do, is the live stream with I Anonymous, where we talked about Gerzel. Nico's book review joined me on that live stream as well, and that was just fantastic. A lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. We'll make sure that we link that in the cards or in the description down below, somewhere in there. Go check that out. The live stream with I Anonymous. We had a lot of fun talking about Gerzel and the Wars of Wrath, and just generally a good conversation. And we even gave a free copy of Gerzel away to my buddy Epic Tales. He won that draw, so I'm so glad he was able to win that draw and get a free copy of Gerzel by I Anonymous on Audible. By the way, if you want to check out that, if you want a sample of it, I mean, you could listen to a sample piece on Audible if you want, but we also played the sample piece during the live stream, so you could go check that out and kind of get an idea for it as well. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that we had the opportunity to do that, both me and Nico, to sit down with Anonymous and talk about that. That was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we had the opportunity to do that. And let's talk a little bit about some TV shows that I've been enjoying lately. So there's been a couple of TV shows that have been running based off of some books that I just want to briefly talk about, because I'm not actually doing a full review of these TV shows. And that is one going to be House of the Dragon. I have to say that I'm really enjoying House of the Dragon. I have read Blood and Fire, or Fire and Blood, or whatever it was. It's around here somewhere. Yes, there it is. Fire and Blood. This is the TV show, of course, based off of this book, Fire and Blood, by George R.R. Martin. And overall, I have to say, I am enjoying the TV show quite a bit, actually. I think that it's well done. As I understand, George R.R. Martin is highly involved in this show, which is fantastic. Because generally speaking, I find that when the author is not highly involved in the show, so much changes with the show, and it just doesn't fit what we want to see from these adaptations in a lot of cases. Now, generally, I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to an adaptation. I honestly am. But definitely it is a noticeable difference when the author of the source material is highly involved in the adaptation itself. And of course, the other one that I want to briefly touch on is the Rings of Power. So this has got a lot of backlash from the fan bases of the Lord of the Rings, and those who are heavily invested in the lore of Middle-earth and Tolkien, as just not holding to the source material. And I gotta be honest, it's been a long time since I have actually read the source material that this show is drawn from. A lot of the source material comes from the appendices in Lord of the Rings. Now, I did recently read the Lord of the Rings, of course, but I haven't it's been a long time since I've read the appendices and really tried to look into that history that this show is supposedly drawing from. That being said, I do like the show. I enjoy it for what it is, and often I find that it's just easier for me to separate in my mind into different categories. The TV show or movie adaptation is a separate entity from the books themselves. I usually try to view the show adaptation as inspired by the source material, but not necessarily the source material, if that makes any sense. And I think because I approach it that way for myself personally, now however you approach it is fine. This is not me saying you're looking at this the wrong way and you're wrong. It's just me saying this is my approach to how I view adaptations versus book material. I do view them as separate things, and I think maybe that's why I tend to be easier to please with the adaptation. I want to see the world come to life. I'm not particular about whether or not they follow the storyline perfectly or exactly. I just want to see these characters come to life from the screen. And that's what I really enjoyed about the Rings of Power and other adaptations thus far. Same kind of goes with Wheel of Time. Honestly, there were some changes that really upset me, I guess, that I was really unhappy with. But overall, I really enjoyed the first season of the Wheel of Time, and I'm looking forward to the second season of Wheel of Time as well. So, and Rings of Power like that, the world, the visuals was all really good. I have to be honest, don't really like the portrayal of Galadriel. I think she comes across as, well, pretty high on herself, honestly, and quite prideful. But that's the character that they've gone with. That is the character portrayal that they've gone with, and that's fine. I'm still enjoying the show overall. So there you have it. There is my month of October. This is what I've read. This is what I'm currently reading. What did we do this month? And, I hope that you enjoyed this wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below. What did you read in October? Are you enjoying House of the Dragon or Rings of Power? Are you reading any great books lately? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, or also, of course, on my Discord. You can also, of course, join me over on my Bookstagram as well. Always happy to have you over there for a chat. And, thank you so much for watching. And as always, until next time, keep on reading. Bye.